What's up, guys? Ken Yance here with the brand new podcast called the Seminole Cigar Lounge, where we're going to talk college football in general, but we're also going to talk a good bit about the Seminoles. I'm a huge fan of the Noles, and obviously in the NFL, I'm a huge Steeler fan. Been those for quite a big chunk of my life. I actually started off college football wise. I didn't grow up around college football. My parents nobody really watched or kept up with it, but being from South Carolina, I wasn't even a Carolina or Clemson fan. Didn't really even know where they were. I lived in Charleston, but I was more of a fan of the way people played. So I actually started off, crazy as it is, I was a Miami Hurricane fan. But that's because I played quarterback and Miami Hurricanes were throwing the football everywhere, and everybody else in the country was running the ball. So obviously, I gravitated towards the style of play that I enjoyed. And then I had the opportunity to find out way more in depth about what the Seminoles were about, Bobby Bowden specifically. The Miami Hurricanes kind of was like this thug outlaw, just out of control group of guys, and I didn't wasn't in alignment with the way I thought the game should be played. And so I've been a Seminole fan since I was probably 16 years old. Still don't hate on the Miami Hurricanes as much as I should, I guess, as a fan, but really most of my dislike kind of goes towards the Florida Gators, as with most Seminole fans. Here recently, I guess I should hate on Clemson a lot more than I do, but living here local now to the Clemson program, I've been to a lot of games. I met a lot of coaches back when I was in high school football coaching. I actually got to go meet with the staff a decent amount, help with some college camps that they would host during the summer and be able to go and assist with that. So I really, I don't really dislike anybody in the college game, just because I guess my philosophy is you were hating on that kid now, but just a couple months back or maybe a year or two back, you were praying that he would come play for your team, and now you hate him. It's like, come on, dude, these are kids, man. Even now with the portal and everything like that, it's hard to connect with some of these kids because you don't know how long they're going to be there. But as a football fan, first, I'm just going to pull for my team, and how we get kids, when we get kids, is just part of what the game is now. So not going to hate on it, just going to enjoy the opportunities I had to watch them. And now it's a lot more enjoyable because we are better than we have been for the better part of a decade. And it goes back to what I always say is, it's not even about the program, man. It's not the uniform, the logo. It's the coach. It's the culture that's built by the coach. And Coach Norvell has come in and completely shifted our culture back to the way it was when we were dominant for the better part of 2 decades. And people say, well, how dominant really were you guys? We went 15 straight years finishing on the final pole in the top five. The only thing that held us back from winning more titles was the kicking game, and obviously having to play the Miami Hurricanes when they were at the top of their game as well. And those two programs together were head and shoulders for a very long time above everybody. And the years that they got the better of us, you just couldn't recover, because there wasn't as many good teams as there is now. I think there's through the transfer portal, teams are able to replenish and pop up and get pretty good faster than they used to be. We're an example of that. If it wasn't for the portal, Coach Norvell would have really struggled to get kids in out of high school, to talk them into coming in. It would have taken a lot longer to turn it around, but now that we do, man, I'm super stoked about it. But yeah, it's unfortunate that the other Florida schools are kind of down right now. It's really fun when those three programs are at or near the top, because it's just electric football, man. Georgia is there, obviously, and Georgia's really recruiting well. Obviously, you get to a point where it recruits itself. You don't have to do anything, and that's kind of where Georgia's at now. And Alabama's still there to a degree, but yeah, Florida State's definitely back on the scene. There's still a lot of haters out there, and that's going to be what it is. When you're good, they're going to hate you. If you don't have any haters, you're probably not very good. Clemson fans are still irate. Every time they see a Seminole logo, they got something to say. It's amazing. But we're focused on ourselves and what we're capable of doing. I think everybody's going to see when we show up in Dublin. And not too many weeks from now, we're going to be over in Dublin, Ireland, kicking off our season against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is a much improved team, but obviously they're still Georgia Tech, so they're not going to be a powerhouse. But I think it's a good kind of kickoff. We're going out of the country, which obviously Georgia Tech's dealing with the same things we're going to deal with as far as trying to keep everybody focused and dialed in. It's weird when you play sports that other countries aren't really familiar with, because like they don't know when to cheer. They don't, they don't know, and it's the same thing here with our soccer compared to like Argentina and all the other big programs out there that they just they understand the game. And like you watch the NFL Europe games back whenever we were playing over there, it was just awkward, man. It's just so it's going to be a little different being over there, but it'll be a great experience for our kids. Great exposure for the program and for football in general, man. And again, like you can probably see on the ticker down there, we're going to talk about Seminole football. I'm going to have guests on. But I just want to talk about football, man. I'm a football guy. I love football first. I can't even here locally. I don't hate on Clemson. I mean, they're local. I've been to a ton of their games. I've been more Clemson games than I have Florida State, just because I enjoy the sport of football, and their stadium's 30 minutes from my front door. So I'm going to go down and watch those guys. And again, getting to meet all the coaches and everything like that. I got the opportunity just a few weeks before. Dabo actually got assigned as a head coach. I got to hear and speak at a local touchdown club for a local high school program here in the upstate. So great guy. I mean, I got, I just love football, man. I've got a whiteboard right here. Who knows, during these podcasts, we may end up jumping on a whiteboard and talking the X's and O's. And that's really what I'm looking for. And this is kind of like a recruiting video, if anything else. If you enjoy football and you like football, and the game, like let's not just get on there talking trash about a college program. If you really enjoy football and understand the game, man, let's get on podcast and let's talk football, man. I enjoy talking, defensive fronts and blocking schemes and coverages and route combinations and real football. I miss coaching. I coached for years and years, 23 years of coaching football. And it's just a passion. And since I don't do things like I don't play adult flag football anymore. I held on to that as long as I could. I don't do the fantasy football thing. I just can't get into it. So this is kind of my replacement for those things, is to jump on here and just talk football. We obviously have me and a good friend of mine, Landis Williams. He's also a Clemson guy. So he'll probably end up on this podcast as well. But I just enjoy, football. He's a Steeler guy. I'm a Steeler guy. So we have it's called the Real Steel podcast. So we'll do that as well. Again, it's just a replacement of doing things I used to do to feel that urge to be around the game. And my boys are all grown up. They don't play anymore. And I coached, their rec teams while I was coaching high school ball. And then my youngest son actually came through and played for me in the high school ranks. So, and I just missed the game. So we're going to get on here, chat it up, talk a little bit of trash, but really just enjoy talking about, the sport I love. So, guys, if you do want to maybe come on the pod and chat with me, you don't have to come here to the studio. We can do it via Zoom. Just get you a decent camera, a decent microphone, and make sure everybody in the background has their clothes on, man, and we can jump on and talk some football. So reach out to me. Love to connect with you and see if you want to come on. But again, the Seminole Cigar Lounge, I'm actually going to be probably smoking some cigars during some of these conversations. And I just thought it was kind of a cool name. So anyway, guys, we will see you soon. And thanks for watching. Bye.